What's going on, folks? I'm actually going to take a little bit of moment right now to pick a different music provider because I've been listening to that lo-fi stuff for a while, and I want to get back on my chip tunes, baby. Let's see, is this gonna just blast in my face? That's a bit much for me. Okay, let's do that. That sounds good. Hopefully that's coming through well on your end. Next thing's next. Let's get the screen up. And we're going to pick up from where we left off yesterday. So, where we left off yesterday was we were working on this forecast app and we're trying to get Cypress stuff going. So, if you're not familiar, head over to cypress.io to get a little bit more understanding of what we're actually working on. It's like a test runner that sort of runs like your application within a little sub window. It's like an Electron app, I think. And it runs all your tests here and you can kind of watch it, and it's super cool. And then I also need to close my other stuff I was doing. Save that, and I need to bring over my code. My codes. Okay, so we have our code. So what happened yesterday was I'm trying to do everything in Windows WSL these days because I'm coming. Let's see, my trajectory for computers and web development. My journey went from a Windows user to having a lot of struggles being a web developer using Windows, to transitioning to a Linux user, which is awesome. I'm a big fan of Linux. And this last several months, I'm back on Windows because, well, I have a job that requires some firewall access, and the applications to do that just run on Windows. So now I'm back on Windows. And so I was like, let me give this WSL thing another try. WSL is the Windows subsystem for Linux, which is essentially a Linux distribution running inside of Windows. I don't know why I'm spending so much time getting into all this, but the point being that web development on Windows used to be not great. And then it got better with WSL, and now it's kind of okay. And most of the time, it's actually really good. But things like what I was trying to do yesterday, like getting Cypress up and running through WSL, not a fun story. Anyway, I took the time today to sort out those issues, and let's look at exactly what's changed. Like, I haven't actually done much. I got my what do we have? I have npm sci, which is like a Cypress command, unknown command. Oh, npm run sci. So I just have this Cypress command installed, and we've got Cypress running. That's just to show you that it's working. And I think the only thing I've done since getting installed has been like run it once just to verify. I say this because I want you to understand that there's not a whole lot of work going on behind the scenes besides just getting it to work in my environment. But running it once is going to do a couple things. Cypress is going to say, hey, I see this is the first time you're running it. It's going to install this cypress.json file, I think in the project root. And then we have the stuff we did to install Cypress. And then I have my little Cypress command that I added to package.json. That's it. Cypress gives us some, like, installs some folder for us at the Cypress folder with some fixtures, some sample spec, and a plugins file. Now, this is another thing that I had to do in addition to all of this being set up automatically. I had to rename my index.js file to index, like this plugins index.cjs, because my npm project is configured to use ES modules. So, oh, this is a good song. So because we're using ES modules and Cypress freaks out because it's still looking for CommonJS, we just changed the suffix of this file to .cjs, and it was ready to go. Now you should be caught up with all of the changes. I think I covered everything. Yeah, these were automatically installed by Cypress. No big deal. And I think what I'm going to do now is actually... yeah, we may need this at some point. So all of this was installed automatically and just like commented out. This is all Cypress is doing. God, this music is going. Okay, so getting back to what we actually want to do is we want to run Cypress. So let's see what this baby can do. We'll do npm run Cypress open. And that's going to run the Cypress open command. That's going to take a little minute. It's going to do some stuff, and then it's going to pop open this GUI. And this GUI is going to show all of the files that I have in my project. So I'm actually going to come back here. I'm going to rename this because I don't like the syntax for spec. I like having it say test. And let me, oh yeah, just caught that automatically. Cool. So now I've got this GUI. I can see as I add more, I'll have more stuff, more files in here. And this is the Cypress GUI. It's an Electron project that's running Cypress, whatever. Not super impressive to begin with. But if we hit this little run integration spec doodad, it's going to kick open. It's going to kick open another UI. And what this is an actual browser. So, whoa, what did that do? I don't know what that did. It's going to kick open an Electron app that's running another browser. So what this is telling me is because we are actually running this spec, our code is running. It says describe my first test, and then what my test is going to do. And then we have some assertions where we expect true to equal true. That's not what I want. I want this. And here we have my first test, which is that describe block that we had. And then we had our first, well, I guess we have our test suite and then our test, and then we have our assertion. So we can see that. Nothing fancy yet. What it wants us to do is, let's see, I'm going to open up another terminal here. And we're going to go okay, so I've got another terminal open. Right, so let's see if I can open this one on the left, and then we can do, oh, you can see all that stuff. We can open our Cypress one on the right. So this terminal on the right is Cypress. This terminal on the left is nothing yet. So we're going to open up our dev server. And what the dev server is going to do is it's going to open up our project running at localhost 3000, which is why I can go here to localhost 3000 and our project is running. Cool. Great. Reload that. Get us, come on, get us some actual data. Right, cool. So we've got our project running. That's excellent. I'm gonna close the documentation. So now what's the thing? Yeah, pretty, right? So what is the thing that we want to do? We want to write a test that actually checks our project. So we want to hit cy.visit. Man, what is this thing opening? Okay, that's cool. I actually don't want that. I want to like copy link. We want to put that in the Cypress documentation. And yep, we're basically just going to visit a URL. So what this wants is in our test, we actually want to visit a URL. And the URL we're going to visit is our localhost URL as a string. Okay. And then we should be able to sort of rerun. Okay. Error, connection refused. Okay, that's weird because that should actually work. Common situations, you don't have internet access, you forgot to boot your web server isn't accessible. Weird connection configuration settings in my computer. That's probably what's going on. Great. So I got this running, thinking it'd be problem free, but here we are. Going to have to do some more debugging today. Okay. Let's see. I wonder if that just is easily solved with like restarting Cypress. Oops, accidentally closed that. Let's open that back up. And I'm going to see. Okay, we'll run our test again. Oh, come on. Please work. Hey, it's working. Thank goodness. I was going to be worried there. Cool. So it's working. And now we can see that Cypress is running through each step that we have defined. We made an assertion and then we told Cypress to visit. And the really cool thing about this is you see how I'm hovering over each part? This is one of the coolest things about Cypress is as you add more steps to your tests, it's going to add those steps throughout this like test body. And it lets you sort of time travel and see the snapshots between what Cypress's output looked like at each step along the way. So when we look at our test, well, this is let's see, I guess this is going to be like an asynchronous thing. So because this is asynchronous, it's going to kick off first, but it's going to finish later. And then this is going to be the first step that finishes. And then this is going to be the second step that finishes. So in our Cypress thing, we see that the assertion runs first, and then the actual web loading kicks in after. Okay, so now let's make some actual assertions, right? I want to. Another cool thing about Cypress, this is actually a like proper website, so I can get in and do all of the same stuff that I would with my code, and like find the things that I'm looking for. So let me see. I want to make my first assertion, and I expect there to be an H1 on the page with the text of freaking fast forecast. Yeah, assert so we can time travel. Exactly. So I forget all of the types or the Cypress API stuff. So let me see. API, table of contents. What do I want? Oh, here we go. Okay. I think I want to, I think it's find. Find footer or whatever. Let's see. Give me 1 second while I just like look this up really quick. I haven't done this in a while, so I don't remember exactly what I'm looking for. Each end to execute filter first fixture. Do express and then there should be a way to do. Oh, look at that. That's a utility. Cypress that. Okay, cool. I didn't know that was a thing. So that's pretty handy. Okay, so it can't be chained off CY though, so that's unfortunate. And then the Cypress API. So I want assertions, all assertions. Yep. Okay. This is what I want. So I want to make an assertion that we have an H1 on the page that has the text freaking fast forecast. So I'm going to look for an element here to have the text. Let's get rid of that and put freaking fast forecast. So what is this element, right? And that's where we did a search. So cy.find will get the H1. And I think that is our first assertion. I'll leave this other one in so we can see some of the time travel stuff. And then we'll go back and open our Cypress app. We have some issues. Let me see. I'm going to rerun this and see what the issue is. To have freaking fast forecast. Okay. Got something wrong in there. Let me go back and see. Where is my API? I want .find. cy. Oh, okay. Okay. It's get. I got the wrong thing. Yep. See, incorrect usage right there. Find is for once you've got your element and you want to find a nested child. So running that one more time. And let's see if we rerun this. Are we going to have issues? We are. Okay. Check must be valid. Chai jQuery assertion you used was text. Invalid subject you asserted on was. Okay, let's try this. Console log my H1. That may be the issue. So let's see. Rerun that. What have we got? Everything works. Okay, so I've got my console. I got a prototype. Fine. Let's see. On this prototype, do I have text? How do I do this again? I'm gonna have to look at my old code. All right. Inner text. Okay, bad request. Interesting. How do I get an element's text contents? Okay, that's what we want. Perfect example. Should have just started there. Okay, so let's uncomment that, and we should say expect. Well, I guess I don't think I need this expect. That's right. That's right. There's like two different ways to do assertions in Cypress. One is using these chaining properties with like .should, where you're working with Cypress like returned DOM objects, and then the other one is to do like a chai testing library sort of assertion, so you can do this expect thing. I don't remember off the top of my head when to do what, but I know that I think this is what we're looking for. So with that going, it's like occasionally failing. Okay, cool. So we've got our thing here, right? We've got our first assertion. Then we're visiting the homepage. Then we are getting this H1 element, and we're running an assertion here. And if I click on that, it's going to pin it. You see that purple little pin? That means I can like travel around and move around, and I can still be stuck on looking at the thing that it's like pinned on. So because I have an assertion that I expect the text to have, or to have text of freaking fast forecast, and it does, cool. Assertion looks good. Now, this makes it a little bit easy for us to do a couple other, couple more of these sort of like checks on other elements on the page. But there is one thing that is kind of an issue for us, and that is that when this test runs, we're still getting like real world data. So similar to when we did our Vitest unit testing examples, we don't actually want this data to come back like every time I rerun this, I bet this is going to be a different name, right? Yeah, sure enough, different name. And we're getting real world data on that test, which you could say like it's a good thing to work with real world data, but it also means that every time I run this, it's making an API call on my behalf, which is going to like could potentially cost me money eventually, especially if I'm running a bajillion tests. So how do we actually solve that? And this is going to be interesting. I think I have a solution. Generally speaking, if you're making requests like network requests on the client side, so let's say our application loads and then some JavaScript wanted to go and like make that API request from the client side, Cypress has a way to intercept any network request that happens within this Cypress application. And you can do like a mock, like you can intercept the request and then just come back with dummy data right away. That's not going to work for us though, because our application is a little bit complicated. That network request actually happens on the server side. So my solution is going to go back to actually something else that I wanted to do earlier. So we're going to stop Cypress and we'll close Cypress down here. So another sort of annoying thing is we currently need to be running two terminals. One to get our application up and running so that localhost is available, and one so that we can bring up the Cypress UI that then runs tests against that URL. We don't want to do that in two terminals. We'd like to do that in one terminal. So we kind of teased at that a bit yesterday with this package called concurrently. So what we can do with concurrently is instead of running Cypress on its own, we can say, hey, we want you to call concurrently with npm run dev as the first concurrent task. And then as the second concurrent task, we want you to call Cypress. And I think that should do. So now if I stop both of my terminals, I can close my old terminal. I can go to just my one terminal that's running, and I can call npm run sci open. So now I'm hoping that this open argument gets passed to Cypress. So let's see. Is that running? npm run sci open. There we go. Okay, we have some issues. The open flag is not being passed to Cypress. We can see that here because it's just giving me the default whatever arguments. Okay. So let's try something else. I'm going to do npm run sci, and then npm has this syntax of this double dash that lets you pass arguments to your npm commands. That's also not going to work. Okay. Well, let's just do this then. We'll say Cypress open here. And then we'll just do npm run cy. So that oh, I have a typo there. Why didn't anyone tell me? Come on now. This is a team effort. So Concurrently should be now running our dev server. There's our dev server beginning. And there's our Cypress server getting started. Cool. So dev server should be up and running. Yeah, should be got localhost, which means if I run my sample test, this should kick open. It should get our application running. We do our assertion. We go to visit. Something happened there. What's going on there? I don't know. Reloaded for some reason. Localhost 3000. There's our weather app. Cool. Yeah, code thing. You're supposed to have my back. What the heck? Okay, cool. So our application is running. This was just like one handy little tip. If you're going to run Cypress, this way using concurrently, you can get your dev environment set up and your Cypress application running at the same time. So now what I need to do is I need to do some fancy stuff. Because this is going to run my dev server and I can't think of a better approach than what I'm about to do. But I'm going to say node env equals test. So this should this is going to set an environment variable of node env, set it to test, which means let me get the same sort of thing going on here, I suppose. And the reason why we're doing this is so that in our code, we can kind of fake this. So create API. No, that's my test file. This is kind of this is not a great thing that I want to do, but I can't think of a better way. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to start my dev server first of all. No. That's test. That's not what I want. npm run dev. So I'm going to run my dev server. Got my chiptunes going, my video game music. It's got me pumped. So what I'm going to do is actually, here it is. I'm so on that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kick off an example, and I want to actually, I'm going to log these responses. What am I doing? Main.js. This is what I want. So I want to grab my geolocation data. Actually, I'm just going to do it down here. Console log my geolocation data and my weather data. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I basically need fake data that I can write tests on consistently. Oh, this is a tough one. This is a tough one because I'm doing back-end code and I'm using Cypress to test the front-end code. I think this will be all right. So we reload that. We go to our terminal, and then we see our 2 points of data. That is a lot of data. Here we go. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to copy all of this. Oh, geez. Yeah, the tunes today, they're coming in hot. Hey, that's all right. I'm glad that you got to stick around as far as I got. I'm glad I got this working. Before you go, what's my favorite video game soundtrack? Oh, that's a tough one because I'm not huge into video games. I I don't play a lot of video games, but I will play like every 10 years or so, I will find one video game that I just get consumed by and I just fall into a cave and don't come out for like 2 or 3 months. Uh, Currently, I'm playing Elden Ring. It's pretty awesome. And it reminds me a lot of Skyrim. And I think Skyrim just had the music that like really pumped me up with like the intro music. I don't know if you ever played that, but it was great. Otherwise, yeah, any chiptune stuff is good, fun stuff. Okay, so what I need is I have this data. And what I need to do, unfortunately, is some ugly code where I'm going to say create API. This is, whoa. This looks terrible. Okay, let's see if we can work with this. Yeah, we can work with this. We're going to say, nope, nope. Okay, let's start at the top. Up here, we're going to say const e1 is going to equal this thing. Oh man, this is not pretty. Let's go up, 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 down, 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 up, 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 up. Okay, shouldn't need too much. The last thing is street. So if I do a little search for street, okay, once I have street, then I'll have 1, 2, 3 little 2, 3 of those, and then I can say, cool, const d2 is going to be that. So if I hit save now, I think auto formatter, yep, should format it for me. That's lovely, or at least lovelier than it was. Now, D1 is good. D2. I basically need to delete a bunch of this data. So all of these, except for one, is going to stay. And then hourly, same thing. I need to find my closing array. Hourly should be like all of this is going to be hourly. So we can get rid of all of it down to the end of that array, and that should be good. Why am I getting this error still? Const expected. Okay, so we have like an extra comma. Yeah, for sure. Elder Scrolls was awesome. I can't wait till the next one comes out. Thanks for hanging out. I hope to see you tomorrow, and we'll have some of this other stuff. Like, I'll get as many of these tests done so that then when you're here tomorrow, you can actually see all the stuff that we did. Should be cool. Okay, so where are we? Type is that. Features is that. Query is that. This is that guy. This is, oops. No, what did I just do? How do I undo that? Ah! Okay. What is going on here? Okay. I feel like I'm just having some weird issue. Close that file, reopen it. Is it still thrown? Come on now. What's the problem? Features is that. Query is. I have to do this all by hand. Okay, why is this const? It is spelled correctly. Oh, okay, that's the problem. There you go. Ah, white space. Getting me. Okay, cool. So, right, I need to also get the actual geometry and no, I don't think I'm going to need this because let's see, the actual data that I use from geolocation is only going to be the features, the properties, the lat and lon. So the features, I don't need this query stuff. The first item in features, I only need the properties, which is going to be an array of objects. And we're going to have lat is whatever, and lon is whatever. Who knows where that is? Okay. So that's my fake geolocation info. Now my fake weather data. I'm only going to use the information I actually use, which is not going to have lat, long, time zone. Current weather I will need, minutely I do not need, hourly I do want, and there should be daily on there as well, which I think I must have deleted. So minutely, hourly, and then we'll go down. Oops. Oh no. Oh, what did I do? Where? Whoop, whoop. Whoa. Okay. I imagine this is my daily. There's my daily. Okay. So daily we've got, and I'm just going to take this first object off of there. Geez. Hit save and it just fixes itself, hopefully. Yes. Excellent. Okay. Sunrise, sunset, I know we don't use. Temperature feels like pressure, humidity, dew point, I know we don't use. Clouds, visibility, we don't use. And then this weather object we may use. Let's see. Current. Current weather object we do use. Weather 0. We've got description and icon. Okay. So I'll have to log that out. Okay. I feel okay with this. Hourly, we don't use the pressure or the dew point or the visibility or the wind information. And then daily, we don't use sunrise, sunset, moonrise, and moonset. Moon phase. All right. That's kind of cool, actually. That might be cool to put on there. Temperature and feels like, I think we do. Pressure, we don't. Dew point. Wind speed. Clouds, pop, UVI. Okay. That's getting better. Now I need to get the actual information from these objects, which is going to be kind of annoying, but I can do this. I believe in myself. So where I'm logging that information, where I was logging that information was here. We have the weather data. And I think I want current. I need the weather, the current weather at position 0. And then I need another thing. I need the hourly weather. Weather at position 0. And then I need the daily, which is an array of objects. I can just get the one at position 0. Hourly, hourly I guess is also an array. Cool. That's what I need. That's the rest of the data that I need. I'm going to comment that out, come back up here, reload so I can trigger a rebuild, and then there is my missing data. So we'll copy that. We'll post that hopefully here. It looks right, because if it was wrong, it would have told me something. No, it wouldn't. Never mind. Okay, so that looks good. And then the next piece of data is going to be hourly data, weather. Save, looks good. And then my last daily should be this whole big boy. Copy that. And that can actually replace this entire daily object. Hit save. Formatter is a thing of beauty. Working its charm. Music stopped playing. What's up with that music? I think I'm going to change my music selection anyway. Okay, liking it. This is my fake data. And now the only thing I want to do here is ensure that I have access to the testing environment. So let's say when I create my API, I want to console log process.env.node_env. That should be running when I run my app. We should see something in the terminal. It's set to test. Perfect. So what we can do instead is we can say if process env equals test, then what we're going to do is just always respond with this same information. So we're going to return an object with one call, which is basically an async function. Well, I can just do this. Async one call is going to be a function that returns this data, my first data point, boop. And that's it for the one call. Make sure I've got my, I think I've got that right. Hit save. Yeah, cool. So then we need another one called get geolocation. Kind of wrote these funny. I feel like I didn't really even need this function keyword, but whatever. So what we're going to do next is get that geolocation one is async get geolocation is going to be a function that just returns, and we'll cut all this out. Cut that out, get rid of that, return that object. And I wish I could have done that a bit nicer instead of having this test code as part of my runtime, but I currently can't think of a better way to do that with Cypress. Okay, so with that in place, I think if I run my tests, nope, wrong one. If I run my Cypress test, we're going to have that node environment set. And then we can run our sample test. And now, even when I rerun it, I should get the same data. No, I'm not. I'm not getting the same data because something failed. Weather.current.weather. Okay, so something failed because my current does not exist on type open weather one call. Features, okay. Do I have these backwards? I do have these backwards. I have these backwards. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Let's paste that here, and we'll copy this. Okay, I think I've got that right. I think I've got that, and then do I have too many curly braces, maybe? Ah! Curly braces. Too many curly braces. No, too few? Okay, that looks better. This one's missing one. Something like that. Okay, that should be working now. That should be running. And go to our Cypress code, rerun our test. It should kind of work, I think. Yeah, that should have responded a lot quicker. So we've got 41.9. If I rerun again, if I have the same data, cool. We know that this is running, this fake data is always coming back the same. Yep, we have our 1 hourly thing and our 1 daily thing. Cool. Kind of cool, mostly cool. Mostly cool. This should work all right. Enough for us to test 1 hourly thing, 1 daily thing. Oh, you know, this may be a question for the Cypress IO team that I might follow up with some of the friends that I have over there and see what they recommend for mocking data into the back end so that the front end is testable. We'll see. Anyway, that's not the point of this show. This show is to highlight some of the cool stuff that Cypress gives us. So now with all of our mock data in place, we're not hitting the backend API. The API should actually run faster. Like loading our app should be faster because we're not waiting on those API calls. So that's kind of a handy thing. Also, we're not going to cost ourselves any more money by hitting unnecessary API calls. And we can continue to write tests. So I would expect there to be 3 sections, I guess. Let's go to my elements, and I want to. Do I need to reopen my DevTools here and inspect this guy? Yep, there we go. So I expect there to be 3 sections, right? Section with text of current, a section with text of hourly, and section with text of daily. So let's write those. In my sample test, let's see. My first test, let's say, I don't know. The first test I'm going to say, it has the app title as H1. Okay. Now, another thing that I want to do here is I think Cypress has a before each function as well that I can take this code and move this up here. So that's going to run on each test. And get rid of this. If I hit save, if I'm not totally making stuff up, this might work. Cool, it's working. Next, I want another test that says it has the 3 main sections. So I expect Cypress. What do I want? Writing tests is kind of an art itself. So I want to get all of the sections, which I can do with like the dot card or look for a section. I think I can do it this way. I'm going to say I want to get the section with an H3 whose text. Oh, I need to look this up. 1 second. Shouldn't take too long. Huh. That's not good. That is not good. Something is missing that I should have had saved a copy of. Okay, let's see. Cypress should have something that like contains. Get the DOM element containing the text. Perfect. This is what I want, I think. Yield element in nav containing about. All right, I think this might be it. So a section with an H3 that contains, and we're going to say current dot should. I feel like I can do this. The section with H3 that contains current should exist. Let's see if I got that right. Okay, cool. It looks like I've got my H1. I've got my section with an H3, and I have one that contains current. And so my assertion is correct. There it is. And I wonder if I do... So an interesting syntax is looking for the section with H3. I wonder if I can get all of them and test all of them. So let's see. Let's say const section headings is going to equal that. And then I'm going to say section headings that contains current should exist. Section headings that contains hourly should exist. And a section headings that contains daily should exist. So if we hit save on that, that's going to rerun. And it keeps failing every time I redo that, but then it works just fine. Okay, so we've got our first failing test, which is the hourly. So current fits, hourly does not fit. That's because, where is... I want... What's and? Create an assertion. Okay, a bunch of things should be happening. Blur, check children, clear. Click clock closest contains. Yeah, contains is all right. There should be a Cypress custom selectors. Let's see, git. Or alias. Closure. Aliases. Custom selectors. So there's this funny thing. Cypress has its own custom syntax for selecting elements. And it's got some special selectors. Get shape, circle, square. Okay. Select by text. Okay. Contains H1 rainbow. Yeah, I guess contains is what I want. Well, that'll do. Okay. So let me see. Contains, let me see. I want to do like find selector. I feel like there should be like a get all. Get one or more DOM elements by selector. And when I have multiple, then what do I do? Yields, samples should be disabled. Find the first li descendant within a UL. Always starts its search at the root. Most cases within command. Find starts its search from the current subject. Well, I am making this incredibly complicated to avoid just keeping it simple and taking this and just doing boop, boop. And I think this ought to do. Let's rerun that test. And it has three main sections, right? We've got Git with containing our current text, and it should just exist in the DOM. Then we've got the second one where we expect our hourly to exist, or if I click on that, I can see that, yeah, there it is. And then if I've got my daily, I can see that my daily one exists. So that's pretty good. This is still kind of a brittle test in my opinion, because if something changes where maybe these are no longer H3s, maybe they become H4s or something like that, that could change. But for now, I think this is fine. We're basically doing a test to make sure that our three sections are there and that they're have their headings correctly or something like that. So that's going to be it for today. I think tomorrow I'm probably going to get into using a plugin system to check the accessibility of our website, so we don't have to go through and like manually check a whole bunch of stuff. We can just have a plugin that will do that for us. So yeah, hope that was helpful and interesting. Cypress is pretty awesome. The cool things that we looked at today were this pinning stuff that it runs automatically, this like time travel thing. We didn't actually really get to see a whole lot of the time travel stuff because, well, nothing in our app really changes, but it will. We'll play around with it and see what we can do. Once we do maybe this like search location and rerun our stuff. But that is, I think that is for tomorrow, and we'll see. Okay. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to like and subscribe and share all the things, and have a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I will catch you tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard. See you then.